Hey everybody, this is Mr. Mochi-san, and today we're going to clarify some things. So, there were a few issues people have brought to me, and I was already aware of these issues previously, and I've mentioned them in some of the descriptions if you've seen some of those videos. But I like to just verify and point out a few things and explain a few things as to why they are what they're doing, and a few tips to kind of help you out and just kind of give you a bit more understanding so I don't get the bum of the run, I guess. I don't know what the hell the saying is. But yeah, so to make things clear, just like the first issue, I guess would be like the video quality. I know you probably noticed with a lot of my Let's Play videos, it bounces around. Especially with the older ones, it only went up to like a certain quality, and this is talking about in terms of like video quality in terms of YouTube, as well as video quality in terms of brightness, gamma, the contrast, all that stuff. And so I'll explain both parts first of all. The first reason why I'll explain the darkness and brightness issues. The reason why they're like that is because when I export, what I'm doing when I have my program, when I'm recording, and I'm playing the game isn't dark itself. The game looks normal to me. Then when I export it, it's fine. Like when I have it on my game and video and stuff. Then when I bring it onto YouTube, around that time, I don't know what happens. Maybe some magical fairies or pixies come over, but seriously, I don't know what actually happens. It goes a bit darker than it's supposed to. And it's usually between the exporting and the importing phase is where it starts to alter the video quality a bit. And I don't know if it's trying to, remove some of the brightness due to like trying to compress the size and trying to get it to be not as good of a quality as it could have been. I don't know, because I have to reduce the size quite a fair bit. So the reason why the video quality is so dark, like for example, let's take our killing floor thing, why it's so dark sometimes, is because it just, when I export it and then when I import it, the video tends to lose a lot of its brightness or original quality. And so I have to manually adjust it in YouTube. And if I remember when I'm exporting it, before I export it, I can put the settings in to make it look brighter. But to me, before I export it, looks so bright. Then I export it, looks normal. But yeah, there you go. You got the gist of why that is. And the reason why everything used to be different qualities in YouTube is because when I exported, I didn't have a actual setting I would have for my export. It's the reason why it has 720, now is because I have a certain setting set as for my actual thing. I have a certain setting set for my export so that it goes, a certain size and a certain, compressed format that will give me 720 definition. And so basically, that's why the video quality is jumping around, but hopefully it will stabilize as I get more used to uploading videos and stuff. And so things will start to run a pattern and will start to overall be better. Another issue people brought to me is my mic and my voice, and as you may have noticed, my voice is probably different sounding right now than it currently is, or than it currently was. Reason for that is because I've been editing with stuff like Odyssey and editing my voice, like not my voice, but just making it more clear, adding a bit more depth to it so it's not as quiet or whatnot. And especially like with the Gary's Mod video, for obvious reasons, the mic quality was horrible because it says in the description, but in case nobody read it or in case you didn't see the video itself, the mic quality and the voice, what happens when I export, or sorry, when I record with my program, when I'm recording my program, I can press a hotkey and it automatically records for me, which is very convenient. And usually it selects the device I have, which is my headset, because with the Gary's Mod thing, I did have my headset on, and when I was talking with my headset. However, the recording input decided to take the input of my built-in microphone, so it didn't record through my headset. And so that's why the quality was really bad. And for the other times, like my really old Let's Plays, I just didn't have a mic. Like, I just had the built-in mic, so that was all I had. So now hopefully we won't have that issue. I'll be sure to be more careful. Usually I record stuff on a whim, Usually my friend's like, yeah, this would be cool, record this, yeah. And I'm like, okay, and I just do the hotkey and it records. So I assume that it's recording from the headset, but this time or next times I do it, I'll be more careful and make sure it's recording from the actual mic. Another thing to point out is with like the outros and stuff, I don't know if you guys knew this. You would if you probably checked the description, but nobody checks the description. So if you check the description, I actually use the same song for a whole series. So for the whole Left 4 Dead series, I used one song. For the whole Gary's Mod series, I used one song. I was like that for the whole series. And so people have asked me, how do you make the outros or things like that. And so I'll just give a brief overview. For the outros, I manually edit the text, and sometimes the text is a picture, believe it or not, and I'm fooling around with it. I change the settings and effects of it to make it look cool with the music. The music itself is from a song. I usually take a longer song and I end up cutting and cropping bits and pieces and putting them together so it sounds more refined for like a 20 to 10 second outro thing. And then another thing with the outros, people didn't seem to catch on. What I had with the outros, I had it so that you would hover your mouse over to the to be continued, and if there was another episode already out, it would say click here to see part two. And a lot of the people who have I talked to, mostly my friends, obviously, when I talked to about this stuff, they told me they just went to my channel or just looked on the side tab of recommended to find my next part. Whereas you could just easily click on the actual annotation that pops up on the to be continued. And if there is no annotation on the to be continued, it's because there is no next part for it. So there would be no, part to show. And I thought it'd just be kind of a convenient way to, lead you to the next episode. And of course, at the end of every series, when it says, thanks for watching or whatnot, of course, it's not going to be an annotation. I might put an annotation to subscribe, but I'm usually not like that. So yeah, that's a little tip there to point out. The annotation itself, it's invisible. I made it so that there was no actual visible box until you hover over. And the reason for being that was because I didn't want to have like some weird box while the animation of the text was going everywhere. I didn't want this box to stay stationary. It looked ugly, to be honest. There was no way you can, I mean, sure you might have been able to pull it off, but for me, I just didn't like it. I didn't want to do that. So I decided to just make it invisible, but people didn't seem to notice it. So I'm just saying it now so people understand. So another issue was with the upload stuff, and this kind of goes back to about using the same song for the series. So you may have noticed for like the Let's Play, the Left 4 Dead Let's Play, the ending of the last one, I basically uploaded later, and I even apologized for it. And the ending of Gary's Mod one, I uploaded a bit later too. And it has partially to do with two things. One is the the uploading speed, and the second thing being the fact that I'm using the same song. And so I'll explain both parts. When I'm using the same song for the series, by the time I reach the end of like the series, like this fifth episode or the third or fourth episode, since I'm using the same song and I've been cutting and cropping and placing, I tend to run out of pieces and materials to use, and so it becomes more difficult to find an actual song or part of the song I can use. And I don't know, it's just the style I do it. I just choose one song for a whole series, and I think it helps build a theme for that series. And so that's why I do that, and that's why it takes longer. And the other reason, like I said, was the importing. So when I go over to YouTube and I import my video or whatever, like I export it from what I'll do, I'll record my device. I'll explain the whole story. I'll record my device. What I do after I record, I export it. I change settings to fit YouTube and I export it. Do all my cropping and cutting and video editing and stuff. And once it's exported, I take it into a program which then converts it to a different file or different audio video file so that it's not as big. Because what happens usually when I export it with YouTube settings right off the bat with my program, it comes out like a regular 20-minute video comes out with 4 gigabytes, and that's really big. That takes about 2 days to export or to import when I'm using YouTube, and I hate it because it just slows down everything, and it's such a pain in the ass. So what I do, I use another program. It changes the format of the actual video file, It doesn't reduce any of the quality, and it's not a result of the actual video quality of it being dark. That had nothing to do with it because I never used it before. And so, yeah, it basically changes the format, and it usually halves about the amount, so the 4 gigs become 2 gigs, which is still fairly big, but it doesn't take as long. It takes about half a day, which, give or take, is still a long time, but it's better than nothing. And so I take that and I export it or import it into YouTube. And once it's imported, it's usually where the longest time takes. For some reason, YouTube likes to be slow, whether it may be actually just YouTube, might be my internet or its bandwidth, I don't know. But it loves to take its time, and that's usually where it takes the longest. It slows down everything. And so, yeah, that's the issue with the upload. The two main reasons, at least. So I mean, like, that's basically the issues people have been coming to me with and messaging me. I've been editing stuff, and I'm still very amateur. You guys can see I'm not even a big YouTuber. I don't really want to be a big YouTuber. I just want to be doing this as a pastime, just stuff for fun. And I do it for you guys' entertainment. I really just do it on a whim too. Like I said, friends will say like, "Yeah, play this game," and I'll be like, "Okay." And I'll record it while I'm playing it. Of course I'll let them know. It'd be kind of bad if I didn't. But yeah, so that's basically it. As for new things that might be coming up, you guys don't really suggest anything to me, so I don't really have any plans for stuff. But what's coming up and stuff, I do have a Minecraft platforming thing I did with a friend a while back, and I just have to make the outro and choose a song and stuff like that, and I have to do all the effects and shit. Well, it's already all cut and trim. I just need to add the outro. So that will be up eventually, not too long, hopefully. Um, and that's basically it. I don't have any other pre-recordings. Like I said, I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't have this demand I have to fill, thankfully. I mean, if you guys really want me to play a certain thing, like I had played Slender and I played Amnesia, and some people recommend I play Amnesia again. And the reason why I haven't, I don't know. I do like horror games, but Amnesia is like a new level. I don't know. I do play Amnesia still. I did play it. I didn't actually record myself when I played it last time, but I don't know if you guys really want to see me play Amnesia. I mean, everybody plays it, so I thought like, it's really not any different from what I'm doing. I like to be different in a sense, but anyways, though, yeah, that's all that's coming up. And for the people that tell me that, well, they don't tell me why don't I upload faster, but they're telling me that doing this is simple. You just freaking take, a video, you record what you're playing, you then export it, then you import it, and you're done. I will admit that you're coming from your standpoint, it does look pretty simple. It looks like I just play a game, I'm recording it, I just upload it, and then there you go. It's in YouTube, it's ready, it's all set. But you gotta take into account the counts. I have to do the editing. I'm doing this all by myself. I don't have other people that do it for me. I'm not, that type of person. I tend to do things by myself. And so I made the outros, edit the songs. And altogether, it just takes a lot of work. So even if it seems like it's simple, and I will agree with you, it looks very simple. The outros are simple as hell. And, they look simple, they act simple, they do their job simply. But it's still a lot of work. It still takes a lot of time to, make these videos and to do these things. So, yeah, just keep that in mind when you message me saying, why you have this, why are you uploading more? I'm only one man and I'm still starting out. So, yeah. But anyways, I've been rambling for way too long. So this is Mr. Mocha-san signing off. Thanks, guys.